Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for November 21st through the 27th, 2022. So, before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone back to this weekly angel reading and to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. As you can see, for some reason, I'm still having issues with my speaking voice. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can feel it, almost like it's skipping. Um, it almost feels like something that like if on I don't know. It's just it's not smooth, and so it keeps skipping. It's almost like a record, and but it's not quite the best way to describe it. But it's yeah, it's just the flow of my breath and my vocal cords is almost like there's a lack of lubrication or something. But anyway, hopefully it won't interfere too much with my ability to communicate and to hopefully be heard. So the I know this week that's coming up is going to be the Thanksgiving holidays here in the U.S. So I probably will try to publish a few writings, but during the holiday will not, and I'll resume them when I get back. So I know I barely got started, and I thought I was gonna get started this week. Then still finishing up some of this work. It took a little bit longer, but I have some scheduled sessions this week and after the holidays. So if you haven't, first of all, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you do that now and to select the all notification bell, like, leave comments, as all this helps with the algorithms. And also, if you're looking for an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. Also, you can select the first time promotional offer of that's on my website, as this is my 10th anniversary year and that's been available all year. Also, if you'd like to just contribute to my channel, you can select my PayPal me link, which is also in the description area below. Okay, so as I go ahead and begin, and I just want to invite you to take a deep breath with me. And just to let go of anything that's on your mind, to let go of anything that's on your heart, and to let go of any pressures, anything that is just that you feel is your responsibility. Let go of all of those, the sense of all of that obligations, responsibilities, and how it's all going to be taken care of. And I know that's a tall order for the ego, and one in which could be very triggering for many of us, right? But just know that you, more than not, your ego has padded your list and your sense of duty, responsibility, and obligation. When your ego, do you understand that when I say that? Your ego is padding. So you might have a sense of obligation, but the priority seems to get padded. So, what you really have to do is listen to your feelings. Listen to your feelings. You are not obligated beyond whatever your priority is. And if you want to make sure that your ego isn't padding things for you, then keep it simple. And they're writing the word compound. They've been doing this a lot in my visions. So that means don't let things, that's what the padding means. Don't let things get compounded. Don't let them get inflated or complicated. Simple means maybe to bypass your ego, the word focus. So simple does not mean lazy, does not mean that you're going to shirk off your responsibility and leave it for others. But what it simple means is focus and clarity. And if you can feel what they're getting at and saying that to you, what they're saying is that you're going to be more efficient and more productive and more successful and therefore more helpful. You're going to feel as though you are serving a purpose. You're going to feel as though you have direction. And that at the end of the day, you'll have a greater sense of accomplishment. And these are the things that are most important because these are the things that keep the ego at bay and keep your vibration high. So if you feel a sense of accomplishment, then this goes directly to your emotional body. And the emotional body, when it feels a sense of accomplishment, then your vibration is able to rise higher. You start to draw to you or create feelings of joy. And you are able to have a sense of relaxation and inner peace. So simple is healthy. Complicated is unhealthy. I'll say it again because I'll probably forget it. Because all of this I've never thought of before. If I would, I'd be doing much better myself. But simple is healthy, and complicated is unhealthy. Feeling torn is unhealthy. Feeling torn about your responsibilities, your obligations, it's unhealthy. It already means that there's something going on that you are not able to focus. And if you can't focus, and if you're not going to be clear, you're not on a path towards accomplishment and fulfillment. You're on a path where you'll be creating more complications, more chaos, because there'll be too many things going on at once that are not humanly possible for one to really be able to be of service. So if you're really feeling like you want to be of service but you don't know how, or if you don't you're looking or searching for a purpose, and you feel like you're just getting further and further away from that sense of what you're trying to do, it's because you're being complicated. This, when I say unhealthy, it's because the ego has padded your your accomplishments, your obligations better. Okay? And the angel number they were showing me earlier while I was talking is 606. It says, as you put God and spirituality at the center of your life, everything else takes care of itself. Okay? And the only way you can do that is to focus. Just because God is omnipresent and omnipotent doesn't mean that focus and clarity is not present. So, and I don't know why I brought that up is because I think of the idea that we keep trying to be everywhere at once. Within the human experience, we're here to be focused, simple, focused, and in order when we focus, we have clarity. We have clarity. We have a sense of purpose. Now, I'm going to hope my camera, just to interrupt what I was saying, has been very sensitive and it will alter the direction of it'll alter the rotation. And so I hope when I just tapped that it did not do that. The update made it very sensitive. So so that I won't freak out if it happens and you're watching it upside down or in some other way. I apologize and I'll try to be more careful in the future not to tap it. But the message is what's more important to get out than the visual. But so that's one thing that's really, really important. They kept writing the word compassion. And so with that, that means, and they were writing this a lot while I was talking, but I had to finish what they were also giving me the thought. So it's appropriate to talk about this now. So compassion is something that you're going to really, and they just wrote deepest respect. So they have the deepest respect for you at all times, especially when you're struggling, especially because you've come here and chosen to go through this very difficult experience. It seems difficult to us and our humanity. Our humanity seems difficult because our soul is able to really facilitate and has an understanding of what all is going on in terms of the laws of the universe, of the physical world. But we came here beforehand knowing that this all would be. And it doesn't change the deepest respect because you're basically in a classroom situation, whatever situation in your life you're going through right now, that's your classroom. You're where you need to be. And yesterday I was thinking, I've been thinking so much about the future. And then I realized there are things right in my present that are things that they're priorities in my present moment that are really important. And it's like, I'll just give you the example. But like my room, so all this work that's been done in the house has been great. But the real work that I've been wanting to do for years, I've been putting off, is in my bedroom to transform it, to redo it. It's been sort of like a dorm room all these years, and so I wanted to transform it to a bedroom. I mean, I work here as well, so I've been, trying to figure that out, and I've been putting it off and thinking about, the future and things I want to do for the future. And here is this priority that I realize that this change will this change, the vision of this change, the visual that this change will make it easier and clearer for me to focus, to even see myself in those future goals. And so this is a simple attitude that we all have to focus on. Like, what are the things in front of us? Because the ego will pad, and definitely the ego will make us leap to the future instead of dealing with the present. The present classroom that you're in, it's not about just challenges and lessons. It's about opportunities for growth. It's about opportunities that allow you to achieve the next big thing that's awaiting you. And remember, as much as we love our future and we put all of our attention and our hopes in our future, the potential of your future is really in the present moment. The in dealing with the the earth classroom that you're in right now is setting you up for your greatest potential. So you have to really focus on whatever priorities of the moment or whatever's been presented to you. You can perceive it as a challenge or an opportunity, but it's important that you focus on it right now. Really important, because you may not be, what you do right now will help you to see better what you really are aiming for. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the archangel that we are working with at this time. Okay, so we have Archangel Muriel. And Archangel Muriel is the angel of love, compassion, and harmony. And so with this archangel, now you can see he deals with, it says, trust your own wisdom, have faith in your psychic impressions. So Archangel Muriel comes up when, so he's the archangel of empathy, and sensitivity, and intuition. So when this archangel comes up, this might be an extremely sensitive week for you. And the word that's coming into my mind and my consciousness is individuality. Okay. And, I know this week is going to be, for the holidays, and holidays are a sensitive time, especially with family. And there's this confronting of our individuality. We shift, we change, we evolve in our own lives. We have our own lives, our own classroom. When you were with your family, your childhood, you were a part of a classroom together in a way, although you still had your own individual classroom. But when you move away from each other, your classroom now really becomes more about you and the people that are in your life at that time. And so there's loss of communication, or um, keeping up, like updates. You don't get, like when you were living with your family, you were getting these constant updates. When you move away, you're not getting the updates on everyone. So you become a little bit like strangers, in the sense that your individuality has grown and flourished outside of that unit. And now people tend to not see you in the ways that, in terms of what you've become, but they see you based on what they have known. And that can really be intense, because you feel like you're having to prove yourself in some way. And so that's where those dynamics occur in families, especially as an adult, because you're struggling with who you were versus who you are. And it's very easy to feel like you have to fight that, because it's something you grew up in, you knew it's your first sort of cell or classroom, and therefore it's easy for you to feel like you're falling back into old patterns, or you can be triggered into old patterns very easily. So in that way, have compassion for yourself in terms of this understanding, and resist the need to prove, or to approve, or what's the word I'm looking, and not disapprove, but resist the need to seek approval or to try to prove something to yourself or to prove something to anyone else. Just be who you are. Know that there's going to be some resistance to it, not to you, but to who you've been and to who you are now. They don't know who you are really. They think they know. And when people think they know who you are and you're not being that way, that creates some kind of I guess because we think we know it all, the best way I can say it, and we really don't. I mean, we think we know ourselves and we really don't. So no one else knows you. So why try to prove that or get upset about it when they can't possibly? So it might feel like you're walking on needles, trying to get that approval back. But you can't really do that. Some things are just messy. Some things are just messy. And so you have to really, really trust your own intuition about that's and your intuition, if you really tune in, it will help you to in terms of the choices that you're making or that you need to make in that moment, in terms of compassion, having compassion and seeking out harmony. And we might want to react like ego to ego, but what they really want you to do is respond with love, respond with understanding and forgiveness, and with this understanding and that nobody what's really going on in this dynamic is that everybody thought they've always known everything about you because they've had a front row seat to the beginning of your life, probably 18 years of your life, and that's a long time of a front row seat. And you got to remember, you're doing the same thing. So what you have to do, if I make it simple for you, is start with yourself. Don't come in with the assumptions about how you think these people are going to react. And even when you see it, don't react to it. Let it go. Because what you're only witnessing is the past. It's like a tape that just that plays. You have it on sort of, you have it always running. So every time you encounter, you automatically jump right back into that time frame period of your life. So you be aware of the choices that you're making and the decisions that you're making and the beliefs and the perceptions that you're choosing. Don't choose from the past, but choose from now. So you might want to pretend like you don't know who these people are and really be curious and be open. Take the time to wait, be patient to observe and to listen, and let them show you. Let them tell you who they are through their actions. But they will only do what you might perceive will be because in that process of you doing that, you're changing yourself and you trigger this response of love where they take a breath, take a beat, and take some time to see you too. So don't be afraid to pause, just to simplify it even more. Okay? So trust your own wisdom. Trust your own wisdom. In this case, don't let your ego pad the present with the past. It's another way to say it. Okay? Now let's take a look at the energy for this week. So the nine of coins and 9 of pentacles. So I get a sense about this of individuality and accomplishment. And, this is like the nines are in alignment with the Hermit card. So it's this sense of solidarity. Not, you don't need, this person has gotten where they are because they stopped trying to get the approval of everyone around them. And they go, wherever they go, they have this inner awareness of who they are. And they accept it. They accept and embrace who and what they are, just the way they are. And they don't need an entourage of people around them to give that feedback so they can validate it in some way. And you can do this for yourself during these times as the holiday period is starting this week and it will continue for a month. You can do this not only during at any time, you can reevaluate the way you look at others in your life. And you can do this by appreciating your own individuality and how you've gotten there and where you are. It does not mean that you cut yourself off from others. You don't allow yourself to be loved, to love others. But what it means is that you don't look for love in all the wrong places. You're not looking for love through them, but you're available to love them and to receive the love that they are offering to you without some kind of attachment. So, unconditional love. Or someone was recently saying to me, unconditioned love. So, make sure you're not negotiating in your love. And that negotiation takes place on a level that we're not always aware of, like expectations. So if you go and you're with your mom and your dad and your brothers and sisters, and all of a sudden you have these expectations, like, oh, they're gonna just be so happy to see me. They're, that they might see who you are, who you've become, and they're gonna treat you accordingly. Let your love be unconditioned. You just are there to give that love. You're there to give the love of appreciation for whom they have become over the time that you have, since the last time you saw them. Okay? Or in your job, the person did this yesterday. Now, today, you're there not to replay what happened yesterday, but to see who they might be. But that means that you have to first see who you could possibly be. Despite what happened yesterday, can you come in and be the better person? Meaning, can you come in and focus, simplify, focus, get rid of the ego's padding out of the situation that causes the situation to be inflamed with a group of people or a person every time you see them. And when you do that, you focus on your priorities, you're successful, see all the things of this card, and accomplished. And then we have here the Lover's card. Now, this card can be read two ways about getting along with people, right? Finding those the common grounds, the things, all the ways that we can come together, the way we can see eye to eye. And then there is this part of this card that for me is about, really focusing on your heart's passion and your heart's priorities and desires. So your heart, if it's a relationship, your heart is always going to be focused on the unity and harmony, balance. If it's a purpose or a career or something, your heart needs you to have a simple priority, a path that you're choosing, a focus that you're choosing where you can do your best, where your talent can really shine as it's meant to, where your creativity can truly flourish. You can't be everything to everyone, and you can't be everything. You're not a jack of all trades. You shouldn't be in a moment where you're focused on a specific priority. So again, in relationships, if you know dynamics, if it's family or lovers, past lovers, whatever it is, focus on, there are going to be things. Well, again, and this goes, I don't want to exclude the whole expectation thing. So what I'm about to say is, where in lieu, if you can't put your expectations aside, um, you know, you know, people are going to be a certain way. Maybe they're not going to change. But again, the real change has happened within you in order to experience a change in others, because that's what they're always responding to. And likewise, you are doing the same. But if you can't, then you know that there's certain things you have to avoid, conversations, etc. But instead of focusing on what to avoid, focus on the things that you share in common, the things um, that allow you to bond. It's the same thing in a workplace relationship. Same thing, because the people you're working with, they're going to all come from different political, religious point of beliefs and point of views, right? You just never know. It's a really mixed bag. Excuse me. Unlike in a family situation, you might know more or less. You know a little bit. You know a whole lot more about them, which isn't a lot. Keep in mind, but it's something we think we know, right? So that's that same similar thing. But the thing is to focus the conversation on the things that you're passionate about, and that they might also be able to share, or be able to express their um, express their happiness and support in that passion. So it would be kind of weird for me to go and I'll give you two examples, to talk about my spiritual work with my with certain members of my family, because it's going to be met with criticism. So why would I do that? And you say suppress my passion? No, it's good not to share things with people who might be able to then tarnish something that's already a prize, a great treasure in your life. So why put it out there for people to tarnish it? You're protecting that. You're maintaining its brilliance and its luster, its value, its fulfillment and inspiration within you. So something about this card here, this individuality, we have to protect that individuality. We have to keep it safe by bringing it out where it is meant to be seen. Just because we have, I guess it's a thing, I guess we feel like whatever we have is meant to be seen for everybody. Just like talking to people, like the way I'm talking to you, I don't talk this way to everybody. I've recognized that my intuition gives me a sense that, just this feeling that I'm in this space, that this would not be appreciated. And as a matter of fact, it won't even flow. I wouldn't even be able to come up with these ideas or say these things. Um, and so when I feel what I call the love being channeled through me, that's where I know I'm supposed to do these things. And when I don't feel it, even when I want to call it up, it's not because I'm out of alignment or something's wrong with my gift at that moment. It means that I'm not supposed to, because the universe already knows when and where. So think of it in that way. All right, let's take a look Oh, the world cards. We have some really great cards here. So, with the world card, there is an opportunity to begin a whole new, like, so this is really saying, again, this has come up recently, this card, but a chapter um, in your story, in your classroom, you have the opportunity by the decisions that you make this week to close that chapter, to move on, to stop cycling in that classroom. And some of these ego experiences that are coming up right now are like phantom classes. You've passed the test a long time ago because you received the wisdom, the understanding. Like some of the things I've said to you, you've heard it before, you know it. But why are we talking about it again? Because we just keep doing it because of what? Habit. And that happens because we allow our ego to pad. And then we have this knee jerk reaction, which just throws us back into the phantom experience. But are you supposed to be in that phantom experience? No, because there's another one right there. There's a priority in front of you that's more important, and you know what it is. But because you're not accepting that you're done and that the entanglements, even if you get involved in them, they're not necessary. So, like, I just want you to understand, but what I mean by this phantom, there are experiences that you're going through, that you're repeating, that the classroom, it's almost like an online class that has already been pre-recorded. The teacher's not there. Although I'm not saying your spiritual teachers would leave you, but there's not much they can do because they when they initially were, when you were in the classroom, they were there teaching you. Now there's nothing to teach you. It's just for now for you to decide to figure out what you learned and put it together so you can pass this class and move on to the next class that's really important for you. So don't let your family's stuff or relationship things that you've been dealing with your whole life continue to bog you down, is the word they're writing. And it's bogging you down. And what it's basically doing is, this is the thing that you have to decide. This is the trade. Do you want to continue to just be stuck here? Or are you ready? Are you willing to put that aside no matter what? Because what's more important is the priority, that the new priority that is available to you. Focus by simplifying. Don't let your obligations get padded. Don't be complicated. If it's complicated, if you say this relationship is complicated, the situation is complicated, uncomplicated, be simple in your priority. All right. And the card I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck, and it's the Queen of Wands. And what I feel like when I saw it, because she's the person that can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. She's very multifaceted. She's a multitasker, and I feel like what this card is saying, that you need to be the opposite of this in your priorities. Yes, you can do it all, but by focusing on whatever the situation is, you will be able to bring out all the talents that are related to that priority by simplifying. It's better to be very efficient and talented, multi-talented, and focus on all that towards a particular situation or priority than to be drawn in all different types of spaces, classrooms, situations, and then trying to be the superpower. So bring it in, draw it, bring it in, and focus it on a particular priority or path. Okay? And that goes for, relationships. Don't try to be a whole bunch of things to everybody. Focus on yourself. What I mean by focus on yourself, what's important to you? Is it important? It's like waging the battle, right? What's important to you? Because that's what every situation really demands of us, is to make that decision. It's either I focus and I'm successful and I experience accomplishment, or I keep feeding the chaos and I get really distorted and I get nowhere, or I have this feeling that I'm not getting anywhere, because you're always going and getting somewhere, but you won't feel it as readily. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless you.